Alright, so today is May 4th, 2012. I just reviewed and approved a video response to a video that I made addressing a youngster from Nashville, Tennessee. Goes by the name of Youngcamp. That's what he posts under YouTube. He's telling me, Brother Larry, calling me Disagreeable Larry, following sign none of stupid shit, because I refuse to release the stranglehold that I have on this concept that we are niggers. Young man, you are sadly mistaken, and you think that we have more important issues to address than this nigger word, as you say. What I need you to understand, Youngcamp, is that you are the nigger word. You are the word made flesh. There is no more important issue than you. You understand? Now, by way of explanation, and I even had people ask me why do I even bother to address you? And to them and you have to understand that every one of us, every one of you, every young camp, every young brother, every young sister is equally important to me as I am to myself. So in addressing you, I may be inadvertently addressing somebody that's right next to me that doesn't understand the importance of what I'm trying to get across to you. Now, I understand that you think it's just a word, and I understand that you think the word has a root in Africa. What I need you to understand is that that's not the truth. It does not have a root in Africa. The only root that it has in Africa is that the European took it there. You understand? And in taking it there and it being there, you see it there and you think it has a root there. It doesn't have a root there. First of all, Nigeria has no root in Africa. That's a European made up word. Niger or Niger doesn't have a root in Africa. That comes from the French. They've been messing around there since 1896. You understand? Now, what I need you to understand is where I'm coming from. Maybe if you understood where I was coming from, maybe then your mindset might make an adjustment and help you to see that this shit is a trick that perpetuates the status quo. And in perpetuating the status quo, it perpetuates your condition. And by you participating in it, you contribute to the perpetuation of your own poverty, of your own position in society, because you are actually keeping yourself where you are because you think you're a nigger. And you look around and you see how niggas are treated, what niggas do, how niggas act, and you act accordingly. So you are actually, in sociology, they call this a self-fulfilling prophecy. You understand? You create the condition mentally, and then you live it out physically. This is why you see niggas portrayed in certain ways in film, in videos, in books, in magazines, because they want to perpetuate that mind state that you have, that you've fallen into, in order to keep you in the social position, the economic position, and the political position that you currently occupy in the United States of America and the broader world on planet Earth. Now, I'm also engaged in a similar, I don't want to call it debate, a similar educative conversation with a young brother born to Nigerian parents who was born in Washington, D.C., and he posts under the name Atticus. He is under the impression, Youngcamp, that blacks in America are responsible for the social conditions of blacks all over the planet Earth. He is under the impression that because we regard ourselves as black people, that the whole world regards people who look like us as black people, and our culture has deteriorated because we regard ourselves as black people. He is under the impression that black male, black heart, that black is negative. And I need that young brother, as well as you, to understand that that's a trick. That's a linguistic trick. What you're doing is you're taking English terms and you're attempting to apply English terms to what essentially are non-English people. Okay? English, let me state, close to the top, is a European language that developed from various German tribes who came together in the area of Britain. The Angles, the Saxons, and the Jutes. Okay, from the 4th and the 5th century, in the 6th century AD, they invaded the British Isles, and they're intermingling. They're catastrophic social contact because they were savages and they were killing up each other, right, and forming various alliances. And then they were getting overran by other Europeans, the Norman Franks. And in 1066, they came in named William the Conqueror and kicked all their asses and enslaved the Anglo-Saxons, right? So this is where this negativity comes in from these people. That's their history, okay? So now when they had contact with our people, they brought their own cultural, historical savagery to bear on our people, right? So that we have a lot of their ways now, and a lot of their ways are negative social interaction because that's their history, okay? Moving right along. Back to this nigger concept, right? The Latin language spoken by the Romans is the parent language of several European languages that exist today. That would be Spanish, Romanian, French, Portuguese, and Italian, right? And a little lesser known language called Ladino, spoken by European Jews, right? But the word for black, the color black, in Latin is spelled N-I-G-E-R, okay? Now, it is not pronounced nigger because the Romans had no hard G. That hard G comes from the Germans. That guttural G comes from the Germans, right? The Romans had a soft G, like you find in Italian, like you find in French, where you say J and not G. So that when you look at the contact between the Gauls and the Romans that produced the French language, you get sort of a hard G, like nom de guerre. Okay? When you look at the Italian G, you get that soft G, that G, all right? This is what I need you to understand about the word N-I-G-E-R as it exists currently on the African continent in reference to the river Niger, right? Or river Niger. It is not Niger, it is Niger or Niger, right? What I need you to understand is that this comes from the French. It is not a native word to the continent of Africa. It is not a native word to any language spoken by any people on the continent of Africa who look like we look. Follow me? This comes from Europeans. Understanding that, I need you to understand that Nigeria, similarly, comes from Europeans. So does Liberia, so does Sierra Leone, so does Ivory Coast, which is Cote d'Ivoire, French, right? Even the name Ghana, you can trace that back to Arabs, right? Now, there are other countries that come from combinations. There's a country in the east coast of Africa called Tanzania, right? Which is a combination of a Arab name and a European German name. It was a colony, a German colony called Tanganyika, right? And the island of Zanzibar, they clashed because the brothers there killed up about 20,000 Arabs in 1964 because the Arabs wanted them to remain slaves, right? They were they weren't picking cotton, they were picking clove, where you get clove oil. Now stuff the dentist puts in your teeth that numbs your teeth. In any event, right? They took the combination of Zanzibar and Tanganyika, put them together, and made Tanzania, new country under president. The first president was Julius Nyerere. They speak Kiswahili there. In English, Swahili. Now, nigger has no African root. Nigger is something that comes from the southern United States. Okay? The fact that we here in the United States are so visible to the rest of the world because of the entertainment business in this country and our disproportionate representation in the entertainment business in this country. You have to realize that they follow us, they copy us, they copy our music, they copy our dress, they copy our language, which is how we are negatively influencing, unwittingly negatively influencing a lot of people around the world because they listen to the stupid shit that we say and they pick it up thinking that it's something slick. This is why you have Japanese television shows, Tokyo Breakfast, and the mother, the father, and the son, or nigga this and nigga that. They think that shit is slick. It's not slick. It's extremely disrespectful to our ancestors, right? This was the term that was used to abuse them. This was the term that was used to degrade them. This is the term that was used to lynch them, burn them alive, and just destroy their lives, right? While at the same time working them to death. Okay? So now, this word has no roots, Youngcamp. It does not come from God King. That is just nonsense. That is an attempt to accept something that you feel you are powerless to change. You think that by accepting it, it becomes somehow positive. You can't put a positive spin on something that's turning negatively. What it's producing in the society is fuck you nigga, bitch ass nigga, kill you nigga. That's not positive. And no matter what spin you put on it, it'll never spin to the right. It's always spinning off. You understand? Now, when you see a bum walking around in the street and you call that bum nigga, if you a king and you look like us, they're going to call you nigga. It's the same nigga that you calling a bum. When you see wealthy individuals like Oprah Winfrey, Michael Jordan, or these entertainers that you named, Jay-Z, that's the same nigga that you see the bum sleeping in the street who can't wash his butt. It's the same nigga. It's not like rich nigga, poor nigga. Just nigga. Gotta really adjust your mentality, young camp, if you want to progress. And yes, stop calling yourself nigga will make a difference in your life. It'll make a difference in the way that you treat your brother and your sister. And that will be positive. Absolutely. Beyond all doubt. This is part one.